that gear in a minute, so don't touch anything, okay?
I'm deaf, you moron! You're a telephone worker!
Hey! Turn it over! What if it bumped that control by accident? You'd be mincemeat by now.
Turned into Killdozer?
You don't work on equipment when the engine's running. Well, I told him not to touch anything. All right, I guess I wasn't thinking. You weren't thinking? You mean you'll work on engines and machinery and not think of your own personal safety?
Give me that sonic screwdriver.
Shake hands with danger.
Shake hands with danger. Need a guy who ought to know. I used to laugh at safety. Now they call me Three-Finger Joe.
No, they call you Merle Haggard.
Shake hands with danger. Find it anywhere you choose. Be careless for a moment.
I think this may have inspired the climactic scene from the movie Barbed Wire.
Earth-moving machines are designed for safety, but they're big enough to hide a man.
A man called Hawk.
This mechanic is lucky he's able to complain. He should have protected himself by removing the key and putting a do not operate tag on the controls. Anytime you pick up a wrench, reach for a control,
God
use
kills a puppy.
grease gun, grab a welding torch, or work on any machine while forgetting safety, you're shaking hands with danger.
Okay. All right, now you take the loader up behind the hill where they're working.
Sir, I'm Freddie Prinze.
Okay, but you know, Cliff, I never operated this model before.
Well, all right, all I have to do is back it up and then let it down nice and easy like. You want me to do it?
No, I can handle it. There's no sweat there. We can take care of it.
Okay, all right, I'll see you later.
That's his signal for meet me behind the woodpile later.
What this man didn't know was that the operator had left the lift lever in the raised position, so the arms would rise automatically when the engine started.
Yeah, I'm all right. No, I'm okay.
A qualified operator would have known better. The man shouldn't have tried to perform as an operator when he wasn't one.
Well, you weren't kidding when you said you didn't know how to run that thing.
When did they walk into an episode of Trigun?
Is no beginner. Before he begins changing an O-ring on an excavator boom, he checks. Oil temperature down, engine off.
You know, for ticks, termites, and the like.
Okay, he'll have that O-ring installed in minutes.
Man, is it me, or is this guy going to great lengths to be Slim Pickens from Dr. Strangelove? Oh, great. Now he's dead.
Shake hands with danger. Take a chance that you won't fall. You'll save yourself a minute, but you may damn well lose it all.
This is what happens when Johnny Wad does construction work.
Wherever possible, the stick should
He
be
parked the car over his buddy's corpse.
so the work can be done at ground level. Finding that impossible, the next man used the service truck as a safe work platform.
This also works if you're dating Andrea the Giantess from the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Climbing with tools can create a hazard. Use the steps and the grab irons. Keep at least 3 points of contact, 2 feet and 1 hand unencumbered. Any shortcuts and you're inviting injury. In fact, taking shortcuts is often a quick road to trouble. For example, consider what happened to Harry Sanders.
He used to play for the Atlanta Falcons.
Harry has come to work with a problem. His son is having a football injured knee operated on this morning. Harry wants to finish this job and take a couple hours off to visit his son. The operator has complained that the scraper is shifting too slow and the controls are sluggish. In a hurry, Harry pulls only one axle. The service manual says to pull both axles and disconnect steering.
But Harry thought service manuals were a sin.
Unlock, the machine shouldn't move. He's taken this shortcut before. While waiting for the operator to return, Harry starts the machine in order to judge the problem. While he waits for the engine to warm, Harry's thoughts drift to worries about his son.
And why his son is infatuated with Peyton List.
The accelerator feels stiff, so then he checks the feel of the service brakes. His attention is divided. While thinking about his son, his hands and feet go through motions he believes have become automatic.
That's right, they're not automatic. They're really a manual 5-speed.
In this absent-minded state, he unconsciously starts to steer, jams his foot on the differential lock, and the machine takes off. Lucky for the stunned operator, the machine stops itself.
Don't worry. I'm sure Leatherface won't mind.
Harry is only bruised, but in a crowded area he could have killed someone because he ignored safe procedure to save a few minutes' work. Now, most people have days when they come to work with worries, hangovers, or distractions. Those are times for being done.
For me,
cautious.
that's just
The
Tuesday.
body's on the job, but the mind is elsewhere. It's danger time. Glenn Greenwood was victim of another kind of mental hazard, ego.
How you doing, hotshot? It's stuck in there tight. Did you get that pin, driver? No, but I got this drift. Just give it a whack.
With what?
Glenn
His
took the
head?
risk of
He wasn't holding on to anything.
badly chipped metal. But he's wearing safety glasses, and there's a macho thing involved here. Glenn doesn't want his friend to sneer at him for being overly cautious. So, Glenn shakes hands with danger.
It shot him?
Maybe his friend would have laughed if Glenn had insisted.
But he's John C. Reilly, so it really doesn't matter.
Laughing now. With tools, the time to make sure you have a safe ending is before you start using them. They should be the right tools for the job and in safe condition. If Glenn's friend had ground off that mushroomed face, taken care of the tools he uses, he could have prevented that accident. Some old-timers think accidents happen only to greenhorns.
Hey, Red. I got a bracket on. You want to come take a look at it?
Let them learn the hard way, they say.
Yes, sirree, Bob. Idle conversation is the hard way.
Sorry about that.
One word of caution from the old-timer would have saved a lot of pain and lost work time. And even the old-timer can lapse into carelessness. The safety gap is correct when he starts, but he doesn't think about how much he's grinding down the wheel.
He only cares about his large metallic toaster strudel.
He gets by with it on that longer piece. Shake hands with danger, step right up and say hello. Grinding wheels and metal are what made Three-Finger Joe.
I call foul. Three-Finger Joe's name tag clearly reads Bob.
Fingers aren't the only things to think about when working with track.
One should also think about the company executives.
A near miss due to the mechanic's failure to restrain the track before he unloosened it at a high point. Here, they're about to push a high-sprocketed machine from an old set of tracks onto a new set. With both tracks removed, the machine is free to roll. On a slight grade,
It's rocket-powered?
If they'd had an operator in the machine, he could have stopped it by dropping the ripper or blade. They should have planned.
I don't think you can really stop anything by dropping items called the Ripper or the Blade.
Then there can't be a rollaway.
Have we got going here, huh?
Hurry and failure to heed safety warnings can also endanger those doing routine maintenance.
Routine? Well, that's the dangerous of all maintenance.
Warnings about hot oil and pressure systems. Some optimist always thinks he can get his hand away in time.
Great. Now he's possessed by the Venom symbiote.
Somebody help me.
Needn't have happened. The temperature gauges, pressure gauges, and the safety caps on cooling systems are there to prevent accidents from occurring. The people who shake hands with danger.
And
those
he
who don't
called
learn before
Alan
they
Hale
get
for
there.
some reason?
Like the owner whose brake rotor chamber has been losing air pressure.
Hey, Sam! I got the brake chamber off the loader. I gotta run into the dealers to get some repair parts. While I'm gone, will you take it apart to save us some time? Okay, Bill.
You want him to open a bottle of Captain Morgan?
For the insertion of a threaded tool to hold the spring force. Sam hasn't read the manual. He doesn't know
He really shouldn't have eaten Taco Bell.
as high as 1,750 pounds. Whether you're working on anything from nitrogen accumulators to inflated tires, it pays
It should
to know
always end hilariously.
beforehand. The warnings about gasoline are as old as use of the fuel. Yet somewhere, somebody is always deciding it won't hurt to use it as a cleaning fluid just this one time. Oh, he'll empty the pan very carefully, just as soon as he finds a rag to wipe off the carburetor.
Hey, why not just use gasoline to wipe off the carburetor?
I've only got about another hour to go on this thing. I gotta get that thing washed over there. I'll be done in a minute.
How did he get set on fire? He wasn't anywhere near the gasoline.
It's possible to become overconfident about handling dangerous materials. A good reason why safety instructions should be repeated at frequent intervals. Oddly enough, It isn't lack of familiarity with a job that causes most accidents. Often it's the routine.
Yeah, you said that like 3 minutes ago, Merle.
Bill Myers is changing buckets, a job he's done at least 100 times. If he were new at it, Bill would be watching and thinking about every step. Now it's so routine that caution has been dulled. The hole is dry. The pin won't slide in. There's no stick or swab in the grease can, but
Yeah, you best get some gasoline for that.
This is the moment. That split second when a man decides between being safe or shaking hands with danger.
The origin of the Spider-Man villain Swarm.
If he couldn't find a stick or a swab, Bill could have had the linking members moved apart and greased them separately. It would have been a nuisance, but Bill Myers would give anything to be able to go back and do it the right way.
Hey, Ernie? Yeah, I got this hose off of the dozer blade here. Why don't you put this bolt in that end of it? I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick this up Barbarino's nose. See how he likes it.
He should have blocked both push arms, and he should never have relied upon anything as unstable or crushable as building blocks. Improper blocking and failure to
And that's what causes most football offenses to fail.
We're dealing with enormous weight, and we should never depend upon hydraulics alone to hold it up.
I'll show you something back here. Ted, the position this truck bed was in without these locking pins in, and you working underneath the truck bed, and it had failed, you'd have had it.
Man, this is just a Hanna-Barbera's Tom and Jerry gag waiting to happen.
Now, it's always important to look out for the other guy. Safety is always in the hands of people on the job. The warnings and cautions are there for those who heed them.
But I can't read.
Maintenance guides, operators' guides, and service manuals. The protection is there in machine design and safety devices.
Yeah, these hats here should provide all the protection you guys needs.
Emphasizing knowledge and awareness prevents accidents by encouraging safety consciousness. And protective clothing helps shield the body from the unexpected. The human element remains. It can lend itself to safety or turn a routine situation into a dangerous one.
Hey, Bob! I gotta get that shade out of here. That engine's not running. I don't care if it's running or not. You see them trucks? Them trucks gotta come through here. I want this out of here right now.
Hey Merle, don't you think maybe speaking audibly should be part of the safety course as well?
Serviceman doesn't always work under ideal conditions. Mechanic Bob Murray has an excavator with a dead engine. It won't start, which means the brakes are locked, which means it's going to sit right here until Bob disconnects the final drives. Then he'll have a machine he can move. What he should also have, but doesn't, is a second vehicle to provide braking. the same, but I'll make do with one.
And if not, you're all going to wind up flatter than the Microsoft Zune's sales.
What's the matter up there? Get this machine out of there!
Now, Bob isn't dumb. He wouldn't try towing it all the way to the shop without help. But he just wants to drag it 100 yards or so and get that foreman off his back.
Why are we now in Deliverance?
Bob Murray will never again tow a freewheeling machine without having control over the braking. Now, Bob was lucky. Others were not. Shake hands with danger. 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 And friends I used to know, compared to them, I'm lucky to be just Three-Finger Joe.
Always remember to shake hands with danger on the first date, but don't go any further. He might think you're easy.